Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well. So in this video, I really want to help you guys to clean up your life. And speaking about clean up your life, I want you guys to check this out. So guys, I want to introduce you to this amazing new vacuum, Roborock H6. This is actually the most lightweight and long-lasting cordless machine on the market. Equipped with the OLED screen, it shows the battery level, maintenance alerts, and you're able to choose between cleaning modes. One of my favorite things is the lock feature, which prevents you having to keep your finger on the button for long amounts of time. Once you lock it, it stays on. I love that with this vacuum, you can clean just about anything. And when you go from flooring to carpet, it automatically strengthens its power. The vacuum comes with 6 different attachments: the carpet brush, the motorized mini brush, the dusting brush, and the crevice tool, where you can get into all of those little crevices. After cleaning, you simply press the button and it releases into your dustbin. This vacuum also has a 2-layer washable filter, which you are able to remove easily and wash. This vacuum is so lightweight but so sturdy. And if you happen to be as clumsy as I am, don't worry. It has a drop resistant feature, so it will be completely fine. All the links will be in my description box with added discounts. Okay, so let's get into the video. So before I start, let this be known. There is a difference between being kind and being nice. Unfortunately, in the world that we live in, nice people get walked all over. And the problem with nice people is that they are people pleasers, and these people need you or want you to believe that they are nice. I personally don't like the word nice because it doesn't say anything about the person. To me, it sounds like this person is agreeable no matter what. To me, a nice person does not have their own opinion. A nice person just blends right in. A nice person doesn't offend anybody. The nice person says the right things at the right time. The nice person is nice to every single person, no matter what. And unfortunately, on the surface, nice people or people pleasers, you may think like, oh, like they're just great people. But the underlying fear of a people pleaser, and I'm sure you can relate to this, the underlying fear of a people pleaser is a fear of rejection and a discomfort of being disappointing to other people. And this may actually come from a few things, maybe relating back to your childhood. Maybe you were scolded for having your own opinion. Maybe you wasn't able to have an opinion. Maybe you wasn't able to be honest. Maybe walking on eggshells is what actually kept you safe in your environment. Maybe you had a parent that was volatile, that was maybe depressed or abusive, or someone that you had to look after, and you always had to put their needs above your own. Some of these people pleasing tactics could be saying yes, I'll do that, when you actually don't want to. You say yes when you mean no, and it's like yes is almost automatic. But you'll realize that you're being a people pleaser when you're always feeling resentful after you've told somebody yes, because ultimately what has happened is when you said yes to someone else, you actually said no to yourself. But the inner turmoil of a people pleaser is your refusal to actually set boundaries. You have a boundary problem. What I said in the intro of this video, that people pleasers, the nice people of the world, usually get walking all over. Because I mean, let's face it, who wouldn't want to have someone, a friend, a partner, who never says no to you, who wants to do all the things that you want them to do, that want to go wherever you want to go, someone that doesn't ever resist your wishes? I think that's part of a selfish nature of us. We would prefer to have someone that is agreeable. We love those kind of people, but at what cost? And unfortunately, what happens with a lot of people pleasers relationships is familiarity starts to breed contempt. Their respect for you as an individual starts to diminish because you're actually not an individual with your own voice. You're just a chameleon that blends into wherever you go, whatever environment. We all know yes people. We all have friends or family or significant others that are just yes people. Like no matter what, they may be like, oh, but they'll do it anyway. And what happens with people that aren't people pleasers, that have, I would say, a normal interaction with people, what happens with those people is if they're not careful, if they're not even kind themselves, they will end up taking advantage advantage of you because you're a people pleaser, because you just say yes. There's no boundaries. You set no boundaries, because if you set boundaries, you have this fear that people won't like you. You have this fear that people will reject you, and it is a valid fear, but that fear should not be the reason why you don't set any boundaries for your life. And what boundaries do is it says, this is where I start and this is where I stop. And the other person's boundaries, this is where I start and this is where I stop. And this is what I learned in therapy. When you set up boundaries, don't watch my nails. When you set up boundaries, you're saying this is where I start and this is where I stop. And what people who tend to not respect your boundaries do is they move further and further away. But what you have to do is keep reinstating your boundaries, reinstate your boundaries, reinstate your boundaries. Because when you reinstate your boundaries, you're telling people who you are and you're telling people what they can and cannot do to you. Boundaries protect us. Boundaries keep us safe. However, with people pleasers, there are no boundaries. People can literally knock on your door at 2 a.m. in the morning and ask you for whatever they want. You have no boundaries. And I've used this analogy time and time again. If I get into a car and the person who's driving says to me, I have some standards for this car. You're not allowed to eat in this car. You're not allowed to smoke in this car. This is what you can and cannot do, right? So now you as the passenger, when you get into that person's car, you are very careful about how you move and act, right? Because you know this person has standards, right? However, when you get into a car of someone that doesn't have any standards, their car is a total wreck. You can tell that they don't respect their car, so why should you? So you'll get in a car and you'll eat your food, you'll smoke, whatever you do, you'll put your feet on the dashboard and the person won't say nothing. So what would the passenger think? The passenger will think, I can do whatever I want to do. Hey, drop me to there, drop me to South London, drop me to there, let's go on a road trip, let's go over here, let's do that. This person's going to take advantage of the person that doesn't have any boundaries, and you cannot be afraid to not set your boundaries because you have a fear of losing those people. Do you really want people in your life that take advantage of you? And the truth of the matter is, when you start saying no, when you actually have boundaries, you're going to lose the people that were happy to manipulate you in the first place. You're not losing good people, you're losing people that are not good for you. And they will get mad because they start to lose their access to you. And you will usually notice the people that are taking advantage of you when you actually tell them no. Watch their reaction. People that love that access to you or love you for what you do for them, tell them no and see how they react. If they start to yell and to shout and to make you feel guilty, you know that person was just there for what they can get out of you. And let's talk quickly about those people who won't say no because they can't stand the discomfort of displeasure from other people. People like this are very conscious of other people and how other people feel, but they're not very conscious about how they feel. They prioritize other people's feelings over their own. They're more concerned about how you would react to them telling you no and how you would feel when you tell them yes, if that makes sense. As a people pleaser, they would feel worse to tell somebody no than to actually tell themselves no. That's not somebody that is a great person. That is somebody that doesn't have any standards. I am not afraid to tell anybody no because I have to consider all the facts. Of course, I want to be a good person. We all want to be great people, but not at the expense of our own self and our own suffering. Literally, if I'm busy, I'm busy. Period. If I say no, I don't even have to explain myself to you. Okay? If I say no, respect my word. A lot of people don't respect other people anymore. They don't respect their word. They take everything that other people do personally. You didn't come to my event. Like, don't allow people to guilt trip you into doing what they want you to do. And so for those people who are uncomfortable with making other people uncomfortable, welcome to the real world. And the issue is, when you actually stand for something, you're not going to be the most liked. I do not care who likes me. I'm going to be 1000% myself, okay? And that doesn't mean being a jerk or going out of your way to purposely annoy people or to trouble them. No. But sometimes being who you are is going to piss people off. Sometimes having an opinion is going to piss other people off. You cannot be 100% agreeable all the time. That's why I am kind of against this whole PC thing, because people aren't actually being real. They're not being themselves. They're being a version of themselves that is acceptable to the majority. I am not concerned about being liked, okay? I'd prefer to be respected. And the only people that are respected in this world are people that stand for something, even if people do not like you. But some people won't be able to comprehend what I just said because they need people to like them. And that's probably because there was a lack of that approval when you were growing up. Your way to gain someone's love was to agree with them, was to give them everything. That's not love. That's selfishness on their part. So how, as a people pleaser, do you overcome this? And I will say it will take some time. If you have been a people pleaser all your life, it's going to take time. You're not going to miraculously transform, okay? And don't worry about who doesn't like you. Don't worry about who does not approve of you. Just understand that you're trying to clean up your life and you're trying to take control of your life again, because people pleasers are not in control of their lives. Other people dictate to them what they should and should do. You're a puppet and you're not a human being. So how do we gain some boundaries, okay? Number one, learn to say no, and know that no is a complete sentence. And one thing some people struggle with, they think saying no is rude. It is not rude to set a boundary, okay? It's not rude to say no. It can be, however, rude if you say it in a way that is rude. I can say to someone, oh, sorry, I won't be able to come to your child's birthday because I've got this deadline I really need to sort out. On the other hand, someone can be like,
no, I'm not coming to your child's birthday. Why do you keep asking me?
Can you notice the difference? You can be assertive without being rude. To be assertive is to say this, and no is a complete sentence. Sometimes you don't even have to justify the reason, but if you want to add a little bit of sprinkles on there, you can give your reason, but you can still express your desire to want to do it and still say no. Do you understand? And on the other hand, if you have to call somebody out or if you have to correct them, there's a way that you can do that without actually belittling the person or making that person feel like a fool. It's just the way that you do things. It's just the way that you handle things. It's just the way that you're sensitive to other people. And if you don't feel like you have the courage right now to say no completely, start by saying this. If somebody asks you to do something, start by saying, okay, let me get back to you. Don't give them an answer. Buy yourself some time before you actually respond. Say to them, okay, let me get back to you. And make sure you get back to them and then tell them no. But at least you have some time to actually think about it, because a lot of people don't like being put on a spot. I don't like being put on a spot. I don't like feeling like I got to give you an answer right now. Tell them, oh, let me get back to you. Let me take a minute. Let me look at my diary. Buy yourself some time before you respond. And number 3, have some written down goals. And not only goals, but write down what you actually like to do, what you actually enjoy. If you like going out to the movies, if you like going to the park, if you like spending time with family, these are your priorities. These are going to be the things that fill your tank. So make sure you prioritize this. And therefore, if something else comes up like partying or going to a barbecue or doing something else that you don't actually want to do, because you have this list of things that you genuinely like, you can compare the two. Sometimes we say yes to everything someone else wants us to do because we don't actually have a yes list for ourselves. We don't really have goals that we're working towards. So we're kind of like floating. And the problem with that, you'll look up in 2-3 years and you think, what have I actually achieved with my life? And this also reminds me of something. If you're constantly always working on somebody else's vision, going to someone else's event, supporting this other person, yes, it's good to help people. But if you're constantly supporting someone, being there for someone, constantly there, what's happening to your own goals? What's happening to your own garden? You don't want to look up in 3 to 4 years and realize that you actually have nothing to show for your life because you were so busy focusing and working in somebody else's life. And now I'm not telling anyone to stop being kind. I'm telling you to reevaluate what it means to be nice to you. Not what it means to be nice for someone else. What does being nice mean to you? Do not spend your life trying to be likable, right? I respect people highly that I may not like, but they stand boldly and they stand firmly on what they believe. I'm not gonna like you. Fine. Who cares? Who cares about being liked? Respect me though. Respect the fact that I stand for something, okay? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. Let us be a people that have our lives in order. This whole topic relates to relationships, it relates to friendships, it relates to families, it relates to work. If you don't want to be someone that's constantly being taken advantage of, you must have some boundaries and some standards for your life. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Share it with anybody that you may feel like this person is a people pleaser, this person needs to get it together. And also don't forget, if you want me to be your life coach, please sign up to my mailing list. All right guys, love you guys, see you next week.